All right, welcome back to the Fly Fishing Insider Podcast. I'm Christian Picasso, your host. This week we have another tip regarding tying in very quickly. In this scenario, we're going to tie into the bend of the hook, and I'm going to show you a way to tie in that is very quick and efficient and leads to a lot fewer problems when you're trying to do that. It's a little hard to describe with just audio. I'm going to do my best there, but if you want to see it in more detail, go to the YouTube channel, Fly Fishing Insider Podcast, and a video version of this will be available, much easier to see and do. It's a knot, and those scenarios are pretty much like that. All right, so I'm going to use some 10-pound chameleon here. This is the fly that I prefer to use for dry dropper scenario. It's one of my favorite hoppers. It sits really low in the water column. But what you see most of the time is someone trying to tie in. They'll loop their line over their hook like this, and they'll proceed to just tie a clinch knot. All right, you want to couple turns, boom, feed it back through, and you're done. Right. Well, I found a method that for me is a much more efficient. So what I do is I pre-tie my clinch knot, and then I take the loop end of the clinch knot and put it over the bend of the hook and just cinch it down tight. So it sounds confusing, but what do you mean by pre-tie your clinch knot? Well, I do exactly that. I basically take my line, okay, I fold it over, create a nice big loop with my tag end, all right, pull that in. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I grab my tag end, I feed it through my loop, start to pull on that tag end, and you can see I created a cinch knot here, and that's the end of my cinch knot. Now I take my hook, I put it in there in that cinch knot, and I just pull it down tight. There you go. Your cinch knot is done. Get that tight on that nice heavy line, but you got your dropper scenario set up and go. All you got to do is trim it up, and you are ready. So really quick, as you saw, how to tie that on there. So I pre-tied, hooked it over the hook, and pull it in tight. So I'm going to do that again so you can see it. I'm actually going to use a different fly. I'm going to use maybe a streamer here so you can see it. It's a little bigger. Get rid of this little curly Q out of the way there. But I'm going to pre-tie my knot. So again, take my fly line, make a nice big loop with the tag sticking out to the side so I can see it really good. I take my finger and I insert it into that loop. I rotate my finger around the world 3, 4, 5 times, whatever my count is. I feed the tag end of that line through the loop I created with my finger. I hold the tag end. I start to draw that knot down so it's tight, and I can see the end of the knot is that loop. I take my fly, I hook it into the loop, and I just pull it tight like that. Now I've got my knot tied in nice and tight on the bend of the hook. Real easy, simple thing to do, and extremely quick. So take my nippers here. I'm going to nip that off. I'm going to do that one more time for you guys so you can see it. Again, I'll use a different fly, maybe another streamer, a little smaller. I take my line, I loop it. Doesn't matter which side the tag end sticks out, whatever you're more comfortable with. A lot of times I'll use 2 fingers because I got a lot of tag to work with, and I rotate them. I put it in the loop, rotate them the 3, 4, 5 times, depending on the line, how many turns I want in my clinch. Everybody's different, 5, 7, whatever. I grab the tag end, I start to draw it down. So there's my clinch as I described. That's a clinch knot. It's already pre-tied. I take my fly, I feed the hook right through that loop, and I'm done. Usually what I'll do is lick that and moisten it. In this case, I'm not going to show you my ugly tongue. I'm just going to pull it tight, boom, cinch down. I got a nice tight clinch knot on the bend of the hook. In just a matter of a few seconds, I trim it, and I'm done. Okay, one last time I'm going to tie this, but I'm going to do it at full speed so you guys can see how quickly it can be done. So we're going to cut that off, clean up the end of our line, get rid of all these curly cues. Get everything out of the way. Okay, there we go. We got our fly. We're ready to rip. In this case, usually what I'm doing is I have my fly either sitting in my fly box or I pulled it out already, selected my fly, threw it on my fly patch or my magnet or whatever I have. Boom, I grab my loop, I twist it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I grab my tag end, I pull it down through. I know that's my loop. Boom, put it in there, pull it tight. There we go. I'm tied in. There's my dropper scenario or my dual scenario all set, ready to go. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. It's something that really helped me out on the water, getting fast and proficient. As I said, that's always something I'm looking to improve on. If I'm faster and efficient, my flies are in the water more, and you can't catch fish unless your flies are in the water. We'll talk to you next week. We'll see you soon.